Hag Sameach. We refer to matzah as lechem oneh, the bread of the poor, or the bread of the afflicted. But a number of commentators ask why we would focus on an item of food, which we refer to as the bread of the poor, or the bread of the afflicted, at a meal which celebrates a geula, a redemption. The Maharal writes that matzah isn't lechem oneh in being the bread of the poor. Instead, he says it's really better described as simple bread. He contrasts it with matzah shira, which is made out of flour, water, and some other tasty ingredient, like honey, as opposed to our matzah, which can only be made out of flour and water. One isn't allowed to eat matzah shira during Pesach. You can only eat matzah that's made out of the barest essential ingredients, flour and water. According to the Maharal, simplicity is a key aspect of redemption. Matzah represents that to be redeemed, one has to be comfortable being alone without anything else to comfort them. It's strange to think of being alone as being a crucial part of redemption. It's not normally how we celebrate Pesach. Normally, of course, we celebrate Pesach by being surrounded by as many friends and family as we can gather around our table. And in that way, we usually are carrying on the tradition of the way in which the Korban Pesach was consumed. The Korban Pesach had to be eaten in a group. But matzah seems to represent a different aspect of redemption. In what way does being alone help one feel redeemed? The famed psychoanalyst Donald Winnicott writes that our capacity to be alone comes from the fact that our earliest memories of being alone were in places where we knew there was someone also to take care of us. We felt alone, but also the presence of someone watching over us. When the Jewish people left Mitzrayim, they must have, on the one hand, felt deeply alone. They were leaving a society in which they'd been enmeshed in for generations. Yet as they journeyed out of Egypt, carrying the bread of simplicity, matzah, the bread of aloneness, they also knew they weren't truly alone, because they knew God was with them and God was watching over them. It is that type of aloneness that matzah represents. The sense that, on the one hand, we are alone, but also that we believe with absolute faith that we are being watched over and cared for. This year on Pesach, let's focus on what the matzah teaches us, our ability to be alone, and also our faith that we are being watched over and cared for by God in every moment and at all times. And may that bring out an inner strength and reveal to us capacities, perhaps, that we did not know we had before. Strengths and capacities that we can then share with others when we gather together again in the future. Hag Sameach.